Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I read this week is called Stop Them Dead by author Peter James. Released by Macmillan here in the UK as a hardback on the 28th September 2023. And it's another adventure for Roy Grace. It's the 19th Roy Grace book. Roy Grace, probably Brighton's busiest detective. In this book is now Detective Superintendent Roy Grace. We have the usual cast of characters, regular fans of the Grace series will be pleased to know that his right-hand man, Glenn Branson, is still here, as is his Detective Sergeant, the somewhat dinosaur and politically incorrect Norman Potting. And Grace now lives in the country with his young family, wife Cleo, son Noah, who's 3.5, and his young daughter Molly, who's nearly 16 months. Roy still likes to, even though he's head of major crime for the area, still likes to go on call, and sure enough, this week this book kicks off with Roy getting a call about a robbery that's taken place at a remote farm. The farmer Tim Ruddle has been killed while trying to stop two carloads of intruders trying to steal something. The reason this is slightly different to a normal robbery is that they were trying to steal pedigree puppies, some French bulldog puppies. That were about to be sold to owners. And it turns out that this crime of stealing dogs, pedigree dogs, is getting worse and worse. And the book explains that during the pandemic lockdowns, a lot of people wanted dogs for company, and thus, like any commodity, if there's a rarity, the price goes up. And unfortunately, this has brought criminal gangs into the process that have used unscrupulous methods. They're forging pedigree certificates, and they're also importing dogs from abroad that don't have the supposed pedigree. So Roy soon finds out that there are ruthless gangs involved in this dog trafficking, and there's lots and lots of money involved. And as they work through this problem, this trying to find the murderer of the farmer, it becomes apparent that this is not just a county-wide problem, it's a national problem. So that's where we are. That's the tale of Roy and his colleagues trying to trace the people that are peddling these dogs and responsible for the murder of the farmer. It's very much, as always with the Peter James, it's a police procedural. If you're looking for a book that's got lots of twists and turns and lots of action, maybe not the book for you. This is how Roy and his team work through the leads they've got. They painstakingly follow up procedures. It shows how they follow up leads, the sort of resources they've got to follow up leads. And very quickly, who's responsible, the villains of the piece. But as always, it's a case of finding the evidence to prove that these people are responsible for the heinous crimes they're committing. So typical Peter James book in that way, very procedural. As I said, not a great deal of action until, as often is in a Peter James book, towards the end, where Roy is face to face with the villains. But nevertheless, a good read. There's also an interesting subplot where two married couple, two local solicitors in Brighton, they want to get a dog for their daughter, Bluebell, and it turns out that whilst meeting a supposed breeder in a public place, one of the dogs in the back of his van nips Bluebell, and Bluebell becomes very, very ill, and indeed gets a disease that hasn't been in the UK since 1922. So there's that subplot going on. So it's Peter James book. It's another well-written, as I said, another well-written book. If you like twisty murder mysteries and lots of action, probably not the book for you. But again, there's another solid effort by Peter James. I'd give it 7 out of 10. I enjoyed reading it. The actual book itself is 456 pages, so quite a chunky read. And for fans of the Roy Grace series, there's a little snippet at the back of the book which shows the next book, a couple of chapters from the next book, which is called, he says, struggling to remember it, They Thought I Was Dead. And it's the tale of Sandy, Roy Grace's first wife, who disappeared, and nobody really knows why she disappeared. Well, it appears that in 2024 we're going to find out, because That's the author's next book, which is going to explain what happened to Sandy. So fans of the Roy Grace series will be looking forward to that. So that's that one. As always, this is very well researched. There's a glossary at the back of police terms, police ranks. There are maps in the front that show Brighton and Sussex. So another solid read from Peter James. As I said, I'd give it 7 out of 10. So that's it for this week's brief book review. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.